Hello everyone, Wuthering Waves, the upcoming open-world action RPG game that we are all eagerly waiting for, has some new news. The developers of the game have shared some information on the combat system, so let's talk about it. The player will have high degree of control over the combat ability. If someone is a casual player, they can still tackle any enemies in game, and if someone wants to experience challenging combos, parries and putting the game's control to the limits, they can do so too. In short, the combat system is favorable for all kinds of players. Now we know that the normal skill is called resonance skill and the ultimate of the character is called resonance liberation. They also confirm that all characters or each individuals will have their own special mechanics, and the visual aspects or aesthetics during the combat is also being improved. So obviously every unique character will have its unique skill set. From what I can understand, that the team building and combat will have many kinds of mechanics with the touch of incredible graphics. If someone wants to use them, they can, but if some people don't want to use that complex mechanics in the combat system, I guess they can still clear all the enemies in the story and in the world, as Kuro does claim that combat is favorable for all kinds of players. But how this works out in the actual game and in all players' experience, we will have to find out when the actual game comes out. So speaking of complex mechanics, two mechanics have been introduced to us. One is QTE, which is quick time events, and another is concerto effect. So using skills or wood relics during battle, this energy will be accumulated, and when full, characters not on the field will enter resonance state, and then we can use to switch to this character using QTE, or this is known as QTE, to trigger a concerto effect. It will decrease enemies' defense and increase character's ability, but we don't know what kind of abilities they are talking about, or does it mean that the ability's damage will be increased or we will gain a new set of abilities? It is not clear yet. Kuro looks forward to the highlights and montages of combos performed and shared by the players, and this might be a thing that this means it is going to be unique and a lot of fun to create new combos with new mechanics with all the team building. And they also say that as the game progresses, new characters with defined aerial combos and area attacks will be introduced and will have defined concerto effects, which will increase strategical depth in team building. So my question is, if all these unique stuff and strategical depth is being introduced, then they are also saying that it is for all kinds of players, casual to hardcore. But it seems that they are putting more emphasis on using all these unique mechanics. So doesn't that mean that they are putting more emphasis on hardcore players? But how are casual players going to benefit from this? I think one way to look at it is that if you are using all these mechanics and building your team strategically, then you are going to get rewarded with bonus damage and more visual effects you can see, and it will look more better. But if you are a casual player and you don't want to get into all these mechanics, then you can just build a team and then you can use it, but you will not get rewarded with those extra damages. So I suppose that's how it's favorable for both casual and hardcore players, but you will still be able to clear all the content there is in the game. Some of the more new things that are added to the game are more unique aerial attack combos. So previously characters only had a slam attack from air, but now it seems some characters can perform aerial attacks which are unique to them, meaning only that character can do it. But they can also give all characters aerial attack combos, so we will see what happens in future as more information comes out. Next, it looks like non-boss enemies can also parry you, which will make the game more challenging. We don't know if boss enemies can parry, but it will be kind of weird if non-boss enemies can parry and more strong boss enemies can't parry you. And Kuro is also listening to the players' feedbacks, and it's so transparent with their progress and share us everything, so that's a good sign. they are really communicating with us. But when the player base increases, we will have to see that if the communication is as good as it is at the moment. So that's all for this video. See you in my next video.